What's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, the format to this video is going to be a little bit different. I want to try something new, so make sure you like this video. We're going to be talking about some stuff regarding the silver market, regarding the prices, and it's something that's very, very overlooked that I want to cover, but we're also going to be browsing through Wall Street Silver while we talk about this, a little bit of eye candy as you listen to me speak and discuss this. We'll be checking out people's silver stacks, some of their new purchases, checking out some silver memes. I call Wall Street Silver the Facebook for silver stackers, and it definitely is that. Now, if you want to express your love for precious metals and look fashionable doing so, look no further. My clothing line, AG47, just launched some new stuff. We have the Game Over series, which I think it looks really good. Obviously, the dollar with the cross going through it saying Game Over. We even have tapestries. I mean, that's so sick. There's 3 different sizes. And yesterday, we just dropped the Stack Silver listing as well. SlayersMerch.com if you want to check this stuff out. The link will be in the description below. So I covered an article on my channel yesterday that was talking about silver demand and where most of the silver is going to be needed. And the interesting part about this article was they're going out to the year 2050. See, we always look at supply and demand from like a 3-year perspective. Like we'll go until 2023 and we won't look any further past that. But if we're not selling in 3 years, then why aren't we looking further? If we're not going to be selling for 15, 20 years, then why aren't we looking that far ahead? Well, this article did that. The interesting thing is, you would think most silver is going to be needed in solar panels. I think there's around 200 milligrams of silver right now used in solar panels. They're going to be trying to cut it down to around 50 if they can. But electric vehicles is really the main driver for silver demand. Every automobile company by the year 2030 is going electric. And in this article, actually, it showed each car company and what their target goal is as the years go on. But by 2030, most of them are going to be trying to be in that EV era where the majority, I think the lowest one I saw was like 40% of their of their inventory will be electric vehicles. But at the end of the day, times are changing, the transfer is happening, and we are going green. It's not just solar panels or electric vehicles though. There's a lot of different things, and actually investment demand, people like you and I trying to get a hold of the silver, has a much bigger card in the field than I think people realize. When we're talking about investment demand, I still think we need to incorporate ETFs, ETPs, because that is still considered quote unquote silver. The SLB alone was 800 million ounces that accounted for. And when we are talking about what pushes the silver price, that is incorporated. Now, spot price versus the physical price is completely detached in my opinion, but that doesn't mean that still won't move the price of silver, meaning that we, determining on the spot price, will have to pay either $30 for an ounce of physical silver or $50. If spot price is at $40, we'll probably have to pay $55, $60 for an ounce. If spot price is at $20, we'll be paying around $35 an ounce. If spot price is at $100, we'll be probably paying $130 an ounce, maybe even higher. Regardless though, even when spot price is moving, we are still going to be having to pay different prices. It's just going to be a lot higher because there is a silver shortage. And the article or the type of video yesterday was meant to show that we could find silver, because the first piece of information I uncovered was in Australia, there's a mining company that is going to focus more on silver, not as a byproduct, but as a focal. But they were only producing 4 million ounces per year. We're talking about 900 million ounces needed. So 4 million, 6 million ounces is nothing. It's nothing. That's not even scratching the surface. So I don't see how this chart is going to stay afloat. maybe for the next 10 years, maximum, we'll barely be scraping by, but we might be able to keep things in check for the next 5, 6, 7 years. But with the current setup, with this current game plan, there will be a time where there is not enough silver to make the newest, latest Tesla, where there's not enough silver to make the newest, latest iPhone. That's where prices will rise, but I still don't think people think past that point. We always talk about that's why prices will rise, and then we cut off the conversation. Okay, now let's play that tape through. Okay, now prices have risen. Now silver's at $100. Now silver's at $200, whatever. But then what? Just because the price is higher, do you think that's just magically going to make them have silver again? Do you think everyone's just going to sell their silver once it gets to $100 or $200? No. If anything, there's going to be less silver than now because everyone's going to be trying to buy it. If you think that people aren't going to pay $100, $200, $300 for an ounce of silver, you're kidding yourself. Usually, most people are buying when the price is the highest. Most people buy when the price is the highest because that's when articles are coming out, YouTube videos, it's all over the news. Your friends, your family, your mom, your dog, your cat is talking about it, and it makes you want to get in too. Just like Bitcoin. Nobody bought Bitcoin at $5,000 or when it was at $1,500 when I was telling you guys to in 2016. I was telling everyone, buy Bitcoin at $1,200. But most people bought it when it's at $60,000. And that's because when the price is low, nobody has faith, nobody talks about it. So you're hesitant, you're skeptical. But when the price is high, you see the validation, and the same thing's going to happen with silver. And plus, at the end of the day, $100 for an ounce of silver is still cheap if you understand silver's true value. So just because the price rises from the low supply and the high demand, what's going to happen? There still isn't going to be enough silver. So where are they going to get it from? Well, there's mining companies, because, and the interesting part about that video yesterday is that the mining company acknowledged the severity of the situation, that there is a shortage. They even showed the numbers themselves in that article. They showed the numbers themselves. This was a separate article than the one I was just talking about when they showed until the year 2050 of the supply in electric vehicles. This first article was a mining company acknowledging it and acknowledging the severity and trying to ramp up production. But that 6 million ounces per year is not going to make any type of change. And I actually covered an article a couple days ago where scientists came out and figured out a way to cut back the amount of silver used in solar panels from 300 milligrams down to 150. And a lot of people were thinking that that could actually hurt silver's price, since the demand side of things will not be as extreme as people were predicting. But you got to think of it like this. Whether it's 300 milligrams of silver they need per solar panel, or whether it's 50, the amount of solar panels needed is still going to be a lot higher than any type of production we'll be able to keep up with. And that's just a straight up fact. There's no way. And then when solar panel demand might be lowered by 20%, you're going to see electric vehicles to cover that 20%, or silver lithium ion batteries, or 5G towers, or anything. So it's not like one single thing is going to affect the price of silver if the demand is down a little bit. And actually, as silver demand rises, the price of silver rises. If you look at a chart of silver prices rising or falling, like a 10-year chart, every time the demand is up, the price goes up with it. If the demand is down, the price goes down. So if we know that the demand of silver is very tightly intertwined with the price of silver, we just have to look where demand is going. And over the next 10, 20 years, demand is going to be increasing. And by the end of 2021, I can expect prices to stay around this range, because historically, around this time of the year, the holidays, the price of silver stabilizes. Price of silver stabilizes. And since we held that price stability around $24, we can only see a bullish market coming, and I don't see it breaking below 23. If it would have, we would have probably been seeing 20, maybe even $19 silver. But right now, since it held past that support level, I can only see silver standing ground and even gaining a couple dollars. A lot of people predicted $30 silver by the end of 2021. I still think that's a possibility. Remember how much happens in such a short amount of time, and that's why you got to be subscribed. But I'm saying that for this reason. Last month, think about where the price of silver was and how you felt about silver. Now look at this month. Think about 2 months ago. So then think about 2 months from now. In 1 month, so much can happen that can turn your perspective. You might think a couple weeks ago, you might have thought silver was the worst investment. You lost so much money. It's looking like it's going to keep going down. But then all of a sudden, the jobs report comes out. You realize they were predicting 700,000, only 235,000 was the real number, and then silver shoots back up. And that happened within a couple of days. The markets could return and come back times 10. So think about in a week from now, think about a month from now, how much information, how much opportunity silver has to really kick the price up. And then think about 4 months from now, when we get to the end of the year. That is a lot of time for a lot of different things to happen. And all those things most likely will be pushing silver higher. So if you think that silver's sitting at $24 and can't reach $30 by the end of 2021, you're just not thinking too realistic. And usually you would say realistic if we're talking about minimizing the price. But you have to look at both ends of the stick. Minimizing it would be 25, 26. Silver's already been that, not even a couple months ago. So at minimum, I could see the price staying there. But with everything given, everything on the table, with everything that we know that's happening right now, especially with the FOMC, with the jobs, the jobs reporting, with the dollar index, with all this news about supply and the demand numbers and the holidays as well, historically showing that this is a stronger time for silver prices. It only $30 silver is nothing crazy. That's honestly not crazy. My prediction I posted a couple days ago was $28 silver. If it does break above 30, we would see probably $33, $34 extremely soon after that, because it would go into overbought territory. But I'm predicting $28 silver around the end of 2021 and starting 2022. Well, it's the beginning of the year, so prices might stay around the $28. But as soon as it breaks through that $30 level, maybe, Marchish or within the first couple of months, we could easily see $35 silver. I don't know if we'll hit $50 silver by the end of 2022. A lot of people say that's a really high number, Silver Slayer. That's only a year away. But also think about how much time that is. We're talking about 8 months from now. Look how much happened in the last 8 months. In 8 months from now, so much could happen. The world could be so different. Things could be way worse or way better, but I don't see it looking like it's going to go better. So I'm assuming it's going to get a little more rocky, more volatility, more opportunity for precious metals, and that's only going to push the price higher. And the article that I was reading yesterday, the second article, explained that to a T. I highly recommend you check out that video. And that's kind of why I'm making this video, because that video had so much information. I didn't really get a chance to explain my whole thought behind that. I was kind of just reading the article and not explaining myself what I thought about the article. So yeah, there's a lot happening, but I would love to hear what you think silver is going to do by the end of 2021. And not only that, when we're looking forwards 10 years from now, 20 years from now, by the year 2050, where do you think silver's price could realistically go? Is $1,000 silver just a made-up number to you that's impossible to reach? Or is that something that is realistic? And what would that time frame be? What price are you willing to sell at? Are you someone that's going to throw in the towel at $100 and just say, you know what, I made my money back, I'm cool? Or are you someone that's going to say, you know what, $100, that's nothing for an ounce of silver. I know silver's true value. $100 bill weakens every single year. It's worthless, and it's basically within a couple of years only going to be worth the amount of $50 today. So why would I sell my ounce of silver for that $100 that's ever deflating or ever so diminishing in purchasing power? So some people will never sell. Some people might throw in the towel at $1,000, then reinvest that into something else like stocks or crypto. A lot of different ways to go. Some people might take 15% off the top, reinvest that, or take 15% off the top, pay off some debt, buy a new car, whatever the case is. A lot of different options. I do like talking about the different options so you can start to subconsciously reflect upon your own strategy and try to figure out some goals. Because if you don't plan, if you don't have any goals, then once the time does come, that's when you start making impulsive decisions, panic selling, impulse buying, irrational decision making, because everything's hitting you at once and you haven't thought about this. So it's always good to plan. That's why it's called a silver stacking strategy. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I know this format was a little different. I didn't really have one subject I broke down like I usually do on my videos. I wanted this to be more of an open type of video where I have a general subject I wanted to talk about, but I still wanted to just kind of share my whole opinion on the markets and moving forwards over the next couple of decades. And there it was. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you did like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe because I'm doing a 50K giveaway. If you want to check out any of the silver stacking merchandise that I showed in the beginning of the video, you have the Game Over shirt and you also have the Stack Silver shirt. I love those two products. I think it's really cool that we're able to express our love. I mean, there's never been a clothing line for silver stackers, and that's why I wanted to create it. I'm trying to work on the designs. I'm trying to make them very clean. I make sure I choose the best type of material as well, even though I'll make less money because I don't raise the price. As it goes up, I keep the price the same as the cheaper t-shirts, so I just lose less money, but I want you guys to be comfortable as well. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.